Doomsday prophet Bill Gates, during his Gaslight and Frighten People or Die Trying world tour, dismissed the possibility of people making significant changes to their lifestyle, like giving up meat and becoming vegetarians for the sake of countering the effects of climate change. I don't think we can count on people living an impoverished lifestyle as a solution to climate change, Gates said at an event in India on March 1st. You know, meat consumption in India will be less. That's wonderful. Will all Indians become vegetarians? Will all Americans become vegetarians? I wouldn't want to count on it. Anybody who wants to evangelize that, they're welcome to. I won't resist in any way. What a saint. Talk about selfless, huh? Not wanting to impose his lifestyle or self-sacrifice upon others. Gates had earlier pushed for rich nations to adopt 100% synthetic beef that is made from plant proteins like beans or peas, carbs like potato starch, fats like canola or coconut oil, minerals, and flavorings. I can see the marketing now. Experts state 100% safe and tasty. Promise. In an online interaction on Reddit in January, Gates pushed for the widespread adoption of plant-based meat products. For people who want to go vegan, that is great, but I don't think most people will do that. There are companies making beef in new ways and people working to still use cows but reduce the methane emissions, he wrote. I have backed a number of innovations in this space, including Beyond and Impossible and Memphis. I think eventually these products will be good even though their share is small today. And of course, if all else fails, we could always mandate their consumption, right, Billy? Gotta save the planet after all, and of course, ensure that your investments pay off. Gates' push to move away from meat consumption and adopt plant-based alternatives comes as he is busy buying up farmland in America. Maybe he's just looking to get his hands dirtier than they already are. According to July 2022 letter sent by Representative Dusty Johnson, RSD, seeking Gates' testimony regarding his farm purchases, the Microsoft founder, if you didn't know it, is the largest private farmland owner in the United States, owning more than 270,000 acres of farmland in 19 states. Wow, I guess we have to call him Hoss. And I guess Bill's more of a, you'll own everything and be happy kind of guy. At the India event, Gates also talked about energy consumption. He pointed out that if governments are willing to implement tough laws, air conditioning can simply be banned, which would be good for the climate. However, he admitted that this would not happen as warmer climate will keep raising the demand for cooling. Now, don't be cynical. I'm sure, given his commitment to saving the planet, Bill likely swam to India, not fly, of course, on his own private jet. And he likely doesn't have any air conditioning in any of his numerous properties worldwide. But as India gets warmer and warmer, I'm betting the demand for air conditioning is going to skyrocket. The country that has the most air conditioning by far is the United States. Even Europe doesn't have what we have. And so, as it gets hotter, you demand more electricity, which, if it's not green, then you're in a positive feedback loop, he said. I'm betting, given his commitment to the green, old Bill's also got a few investments in the new green technology. Gates also pointed out that most of the demand for more energy, cement, and steel is coming from middle-income nations like India, where even if you stop at, say, a quarter of America's energy intensity, that climate change is very, very dramatic. Yes, Bill, very, very dramatic indeed. Especially since India to date has kept you out of the action, which is surprising given your track record with vaccines in India. The Microsoft co-founder also suggested that even when the United States uses half as much energy per person, it would be unjust to ask India to maintain consumption at its current level. According to Our world in data energy use per person in the United States was 76,634 kilowatt hours in 2021, which is close to 11 times India's energy consumption of 66,992 kilowatt hours per capita. Now, when you look at those numbers alone, your climate alarmist friends would say, see how much more energy the West uses? How terrible. But let's look at the rest of the story, shall we? India's population is 1,407,563,822. Wow, that's a lot of people. And the US comes in at 336,205,623. In other words, India has 4.1866 times the population of the US. So, when you multiply India's 6,992 kilowatt hours per person by 4.1866, you get 29,272 kilowatts. So in terms of overall consumption, adjusting for population, the US only uses 2.617 times more than India. A far cry from the 11 times number presented to alarm folks. Plus, bear in mind that large swaths of India are still very rural in nature, with minimal amounts of infrastructure. So if it was developed as much as the US, their overall consumption would likely be no less than, and chances are more than, what's being consumed in the US. This is another example of how data is presented to achieve a narrative. Now, I'm not the only one who's saying this. Last year, Patrick Moore, one of the founders of Greenpeace, claimed that climate change is based on false narratives. In an email obtained by the Epoch Times, Moore, who left the organization back in 1986, said that Greenpeace was hijacked by the political left when they became aware of the money and power involved in the environment movement. Money and power, folks, anywhere you go, it changes a lot of things. The environmental movement has become more of a political movement than an environmental movement, Moore stated. They are primarily focused on creating narratives, stories that are designed to instill fear and guilt into the public so the public will send them money. Fear, guilt, and money. Kind of sounds like the past 3 years, no? In June last year, the independent foundation Climate Intelligence, Clintel, received signatures from over 1,100 scientists and professionals worldwide for its World Climate Declaration, stating that there is no climate emergency. I'm sure you're familiar with the story, given the wall-to-wall coverage by the mainstream corporate media of it. In an interview with the Epoch Times, Marcel Kroc, the founder of Clintel, said that even if it is accepted that carbon dioxide is the main driver of current climate change, there still is no climate emergency. We simply state that all evidence so far indicates that the increase in CO2 and the increase in temperatures are not harmful for us or for nature, and therefore the climate hysteria surrounding the topic is totally unjustified, and that the cure, getting rid of fossil fuels ASAP and replacing them with renewals, probably will be worse than the disease, climate change. Well, I can tell you folks firsthand, if you think back to the last 3 years, the cure has been far worse than the disease. Anyway, I thank you for watching. Please post any comments you have in the comment section. You can always follow me in my Rumble on my Locals account. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please do so. Get on board. And please comment on other videos that you've seen. And of course, share this channel with your friends. And I look forward to seeing you next time.